by which we can inculcate the right ethics and the right thing to the students. Rightly educate a child, you can transform the child's life. By that, you can bring peace to the entire world. When you have passion, then nothing is necessary there. And you can be a good guru, the one who eradicates darkness from the life.
Hello and a very warm welcome to Great Principles. I am Seema Chhoriya. I bring to you another insightful episode on Great Principles today. Ethics is all about knowing the difference between what you have a right to do and what is right to do. Without ethics, humanity has no future. And we as parents and educators need to wake up and work in this direction of imparting education that includes conscious and morality training. Today we have Mr. Nikesh Gilgal, founder principal cum director, Mount Sinai Mission School, Purnia, Bihar. Welcome to Great Principles, sir. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Same here.
So today we are looking up, for some guidance for our viewers, how we can have humanity, empathy involved in education as well. So let's have a conversation going ahead in this. First of all, sir, we will start where it all started, from your once upon a time. You had a wonderful philosophy and morality, compass. You wish to provide right education through right approach as an educator. So tell me, sir, what have you done differently to achieve success in provisioning right education in your school?
Okay, thank you. First of all, I would like to thank for giving me this opportunity. Am I audible?
Yeah, sir, perfectly fine.
Very much thankful. It's indeed it's a privilege for talking to such a wonderful platform, especially about the profession I am in for the last 18-20 years. And I believe strongly. I believe education is it's a wonderful tool by which we can inculcate the right ethics and the right thing to the students. I personally believe education is not bounded in the textbook or maybe inside the walls. I always tell my students about a different definition to education. Education is something that helps you to identify the right and wrong. That's the ability every student must get, the ability to differentiate between right and wrong. Now there's a big questions, and rights can be different for different people. Their perspectives can be different. So we always need to care the children, the students in such a way that they must, in one way or the other way, benefit themselves and to the society. So the education which we are giving to the students, if that is not enabling them to differentiate between the benefits of themselves and the society, if they are not able to differentiate between the right and wrong in their life, then that knowledge is vain and void and is disastrous.
Certainly, sir. So how do we teach these children? How do we help them to understand what is right and what is wrong?
For that, first of all, the teachers, the teaching fraternity must learn it. Continuous training, continuous, effort only. See, if you are convinced with a certain philosophy, certain ideology, then only you can convey the same and convince the same to the student. Now this is not about a textbook based. We know that when a teacher goes to a class, they open up the textbook and start teaching the lesson, whatever it is there in the curriculum. They don't involve the students into the areas outside of the textbook. So if you ask me how this is possible to bring the students into the right education, if you want me to give you a brief answer, I would say, first of all, our teachers need to be trained, and our teachers need to be educated, and our teachers need to be convinced with the very ethical sides of the education. As long as you are not educated in this way, you cannot educate the students. So this is a noble and pious profession. And I always suggest people not to go to teach a child for earning or as a job. If you, find this as a mission, a life-changing mission, as of any other ideologies, education is playing a vital role in the life of people. So if you rightly educate a child, you can transform the child's life. By that, you can bring peace to the entire world. That's what I believe.
Absolutely, sir. And that is the right approach to do when the child at this age is exposed to such things, like being ethical. And in every profession going ahead, you need to be ethical again, because ethics is something which keeps you attached to your own vision. Ethics is something which help you, your team, to go with the flow. You need to be ethical, and that is the only way where you don't exploit others. So that has to be imbibed first in the child. It's not only about being professional, even at family front. Once you grow up, then you start demanding from your parents, saying, all right, what you have done for me. So that is not the right approach. So this is what is, it is in every part of life, I suppose. So absolutely, sir, this is first teacher needs to be trained. That is the major requirement here. Going ahead, sir, you're the founder, director, and principal of the Mount Sinai Mission School, and it's not an easy task to be the founder and be the principal, be the face of the organization, dealing with parents, and standing by your own vision. So which qualities in teacher define them as good educator, and how your vision is imbibed in your teacher and they carry it further?
Okay, now first of all, Mount Sinai Mission School, I will tell you why Mount Sinai. Before that, let me tell you, I born and brought up in Kerala. My whole education I did in Kerala. 2004, I came to Bihar. My elder sister, she was working in one of the mission in Bihar. And I just came actually to see her out, to be here at least for a couple of months and go back to Kerala and pursue my higher studies. So I came to Bihar, and I started to teach in a school, Mount Zion Mission School. I started teaching in a school for the kids. So, if you ask me why I choose this profession, teaching profession, I would say I never imagined, I never thought of to become a teacher. But one thing, it was there in me, you won't believe if I say that after I completed my 10th, just after I completed my 10th, 3 of my friends, we jointly together started a coaching center in one of my relatives' house. So the students were from 7, 8, 9, 10. So when I was 14 plus, in my 15, I started a coaching center, and that's years back. So that may be that God's calling for a teacher. That maybe the traits maybe must have been in me. In 2004, I came to Bihar. After joining a school and started teaching the students, I can say that I never thought of going back to Kerala. Now, what force hold me here, I cannot define it. And what inspiration? If you ask me who inspired me, I would say nobody inspired me, because it was all of a sudden it happened. Like I thought for the next year, and they promoted me to the in charge of the school. And in 2008, I started my school with a vision. Now, Mount Sinai Mission School, you must have actually heard about Mount Sinai. If you have ever read Bible or heard the stories of Bible, Mount Sinai is the place where God given 10 commandments to Moses, the prophet. So that 10 commandments were given to the people of Israel, and in that the 10 commandments, it is written what to do and what not to do, what the human must do. It's an ethical codes for a living. When I thought of giving a name to the school in 2008, when I was sitting with few of my friends and colleagues, we were discussing about a good name. Suddenly this name came to my mind, that school is the place where we teach the students what to do and what not to do, what is right and what is wrong. So at once I said, Mount Sinai is the best place, because a school is the place where we teach them. Teachings are, like degrees, teaching precepts. So that is the way we chose Mount Sinai Mission School as the name. In 2012, I started another school in the nearby district Katihar. So this way, my aim for the future is to start at least a school in every district of Bihar and to teach and to give value education to the students, and by that to have a change. That is the dream of me. If you ask me what goal I look forward with Mount Sinai Mission School.
Beautiful vision. Imparting value education is something which is much needed. So, but here I have one question for you. Bihar is labeled as the most toughest state, especially in terms of education, though irony is that maximum UPSC pass out from Bihar. So, what is this all things? How do you find students here? How's the atmosphere? How are the parents?
Now, many people ask me, why Bihar? Many people, ask me, you are from Kerala, and in the matter of education, it's that they have a top place. And why Bihar? That's a question often people ask me when they come to know that I'm not from Bihar. See, Bihar, if you take the history of India, without Bihar, Indian history is not complete. Nowhere, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and all, nowhere in Indian history, if you study about the Central Asia and the history of India, the formation and the development, everything. During the independence era, Bihar was considered as the golden state of India. Bihar, Jharkhand, when they were together, rich in minerals, rich in heritage, even Buddhism, Jainism, that's all rooted to Bihar. Indian culture, if you say Indian culture, is deeply related to Bihar's history. So Bihar plays and has an important role in the history of India. When we talk about India, it was fragmented into 500 to 600 small provinces, but even Magadh, Patna, Bihar had a very good say, both in education. If you talk about education, the international students used to come to study in Nalanda and Vikramshila, universities. So, spiritually, educationally, economically, culturally, in all the area, Bihar was on the top. Now the question is why, it is as today. So there were so many, political reasons in that. I don't want to bring any controversy to our talk. Let us, pass on this. There can be some political reasons why, Bihar was given this status today. But I would say some changes is needed to the concept, the perspective of education. Let me bring you to your notice an important thing, what I noticed for the last, 2 decades. What I noticed here, they give more importance to education, but they give more importance to the theoretical part of the education, not the practical part. Most of the students, they wanted to hold a degree and get into a government job. My concept of education is entirely different with this concept. What I believe is education is a tool which will mold you into a life, worth living. See, education is not for getting a job. Education is not for a status. If you hold a doctorate degree, you hold a status in the society. It is not like even a farmer should have the same status as of a doctorate person. We need to, in the society, in Indian concept, in the Indian society, degree is the number one tag for a status. If you are postgraduate, your status is on top. Degree below, intermediate below that, illiterate person below. This is the way. But my point, my perspective, something different. Education is simply one of the elements which will help you to survive on this earth. That's all. And education will give you give you wisdom. Now here we need to differentiate wisdom and knowledge. You may be knowing all the theories, all formulas, but that knowledge will not help you to live a good life. What we call a life worth living, a noble life. So for that, you need to have wisdom to understand, people's problem, to have sympathy, concern. If you have knowledge, formulas and theories, there we have problems with the diversities, problem with the religious differences, problem with the cultural differences, problem with the linguistic differences. If you have wisdom in you, you will consider yourself as smaller than others. You will start respecting other people. See the Hindu philosophy, Indian philosophy, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. How can you think about a world with everyone enjoying peace? Only wisdom can bring you into that. If you have that right wisdom, then your education will be beneficial. Otherwise, no use of these degrees. Now you ask me in Bihar, more UPSC candidates. People, once they pass intermediate and graduation, they spend the whole time, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. They go to Kota, they go to Delhi, they take, even if they don't live in their house, nearby, they take a rented room and stays. 4 or 5 boys, they stays there. And that is their, day and night they work for it. Their aim, objective is to pass UPSC. But now you see, after having this many numbers of UPSC candidates from Bihar, Bihar's development is day by day declining in all these spheres. Political, ethically, morally, we need to have people to develop, to support a sustainable development to all possible arenas of life. That is lacking. In India, that is lacking. People are more personal. They study for themselves. They get job for themselves. Once they pass out UPSC and got into a position of IAS officer or something like that, they hold their position for their survival rather than saving the nation. That is the one difference I could see in politicians, in most of the government officials. I'm not telling everyone, but most of the government officials, once they get into the job, they forget about the ethics, they forget about the morality, they forget about the social development. Rather, they stick to their, and now they focus on their family development rather for focusing on the society. That concept perspective must be changed. That's only possible with the good teachers.
Absolutely, sir. And when teachers are focused on imparting the value education, then only this can be achieved. Sir, you spoke about many things about the glorious past of Bihar. Hopefully, with the right kind of education, this can be revived, and this is very much achievable. We have bright minds, but somewhere that ethical education is not forming a part of that education. So that is where, and sir, you have a wonderful philosophy, because education is about widening your horizon, expanding yourself to learning, opening your minds. Education is about learning, not about getting marks or degree. So wonderful philosophy, wonderful thoughts, sir. All the best in your endeavors. We wish you luck that yes, your dream might come true, may come true, and in all your districts, you have your school which is imparting value education. Great thoughts, sir, and great work you are doing, sir. You're amazing, sir. We are really grateful to have you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I'm so humbled to hear that.
Great, sir. So going ahead, sir, in our conversation, sir, the acknowledgement for good work are many, sir. We keep on getting rewards, recognition, and appreciation for the work, and they actually uplift us. They motivate us to keep on going. So, sir, I would like you to talk to us about an award that has a very special place in your heart.
I would say, so many awards, and that these days it's very common. But one thing, if you get something unexpectedly, then that matters. We're expecting something. I am working as a treasurer in the district private school association, which is a national, as all India private school association. Some of the societies we are like executives, and we are holding some other positions. So whenever they have some functions, okay, awards and the recognition is common thing now. One thing, in 2019, you must have heard about Super 30.
Yeah.
A movie was released by Hrithik Roshan. Collaborating with that, IB hubs in Hyderabad, they started campaigning, and they started research work and all these things with their juries and all. There was a jury. They searched for 30 people to recognize 30 people. They call it as a IB hub Super 30. So almost 36,000 nominations they have got. So that nomination actually, there was a criteria. The students have to nominate their teachers whom they think. I was not aware about. In In 2019, September 3rd, I got a call from IBMs. Then they said, sir, your name is listed in this. I was not knowing this. I was unaware. Some of my students, a few of my students, joined me. They nominated me. They have sent all the details and all things. I was not knowing. Almost 36,000 nominations they have received, and they have, shortlisted my names into some hundreds. Then they asked me for my profile, for my certificates and all these things. So first I was not aware about all these things. Then I come to know that these are the things. I thought, okay, why should I discourage my students? Anyway, they have nominated. I was not sure that I would get selected into it. But I sent all my documents and photos and all things, and I sent. Then in 2019, September 4th evening, I got a mail. And they said, sir, you are shortlisted to the last, and the final list will be released on 5th Teachers' Day by 1 o'clock. I was not hoping, really, frankly saying, I was not hoping for it. But in September 5th, when I checked my mail after the functions, Teachers' Day function and all, by 1:30 or 2 o'clock, when I checked the mail, I got shocked that I was selected one of the 30 in that. That was the one thing I remember, because it's not that I, looked for it, and because of my students, their, good thing, their testimonials, their, encouragement. So I received that one. I considered as one of the, closest to my heart. And I have got a couple of, more awards and, recognition. I'm not degrading those, but I respect every awards as equal. This one is a bit closer to me.
Certainly, sir. And this is the true teacher, I suppose. When a true teacher speaks, nothing is more encouraging for them than something which their students have brought in, the joy which they get when their student recognizes that, yes, my teacher is very special to me, and this is what my teacher has done. So certainly, sir, this has to be a special award for you. Great, sir. Congratulations on that too. Great going, sir. So the person who is in the heart of the teacher, that is the most, favorite and worshipped kind of a teacher. So wonderful journey, sir, you have here. Now going ahead in our discussion, sir, you have, I think, nearly completed 2 decades now. You're doing that, and with the same dedication, you're working. So, sir, during this journey, there have been, some ups and downs also. There have been, you must have looked for inspiration, for motivation, for support, advice. So tell me, sir, that educationist you look up for your advice and support.
No, actually, as you said about the ups and downs, I would say, I have, gone through lots of ups and downs. I started from zero. When I started in 2008, I started with 37 students and 10 teachers, the journey. If you ask me that in our day-to-day life, in our personal life, in our professional life, we have to go through 3 stages. When you plan for a business, when you plan for constructing a house, building, anything, a plan, you have 3 stages. First one is planning. I call it a comfort zone. You sit at home, maybe, in the AC room of an architect, you are planning for your house. Once the plan is over, you are moving towards the second stage. That is the stage of perseverance. You have 2 options there. What is the second stage is, okay, for example, where you wanted to construct your building, you will need to go outside the ground. You need to have sand, you need to have cement, you need to have steel, the materials, workers. You have to stand in the sun rays, rain, lots of problems. Going to market, purchasing things. You have a messy outside work. That I call the stage of perseverance. So you have 2 options. Any work, any business you start. The second stage is the stage of hard working. You are in the field. So many times you will feel like I may fail. You may have doubt. Now you have 2 options. Either you to stay there or to go back to another plan. There are people, they quit and go back to the other business. Again, if you are quitting, you again starting another business from the first stage. It is not that you in the second stage you are quitting and you will be promoted to the third stage. No, you have to go back. So those who are listening to me, I wanted, it's a moral of it, If you are working on a project which you are, dearly wanted to do, that's your vision, that's your mission. Once you started a mission, a work, if you're facing hardships and problems, my thing is, if you're sure about the mission, the work you are doing, stick to it. I had lots of struggles. Even in 2015, like one portion of our building, hit by the cyclone. So that time, now it is concreted. That time it was asbestos. So the entire portion of almost 6,500 square feet building, the entire portion, in few minutes, the entire portion's asbestos with all holdings went and fallen into 100 meters away during the vacation. I thank God it did not happen during the working hours. You must be remembering when Nepal was hit with the earthquakes and all those time.
Right.
So it was during holidays when the next day I had flight from Calcutta to Kerala. I was here only. My guard came and told me, sir, some parts of the building hit by the cyclone. So I thought maybe one or two asbestos may have fallen. So I just casually came. I came by. I could see from a distance when I was driving my car inside the campus. I could see the entire portion was lit. The sunlight was full. The entire portion was taken. I came. You can imagine it was a very, very small school with a very 300, 400 students. And during the holidays, we don't have much money. With all teachers were paid salary and all. I was planning to go for a vacation to Kerala. I came and sat. I saw all my non-teaching staff and drivers, they came, knowing they came. Everybody was sitting there. I just put a chair in front of my office and sat. Everybody was, gloomy, sad. I called up one of my friend engineer, is Mr. Sanjay Kumar. I called up him. He came, after an hour. I said, we are going to concrete this. So let us plant. See, there was recently I have seen a video of one couple who were running schools in Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh, I think, yeah, Telangana, something. Telangana, Andhra, like. They committed suicide because of the, tension that is caused by, the finances. If anybody is listening to me, see, there is no problem in the world that we cannot face and challenge and overcome it. I had, like in the worldly perspective, I had two options: to shut down the school and sit and maybe hanging and committing suicide or maybe running away from here. The other one is challenging it. I personally believe that was a blessing of God. It happened during the vacation. First point. I personally believe it was a blessing of God that God wanted to push me up. Sometimes, we fall in comfort zone and we sleep. But I was almost, slept like. God wanted to shake me. He wanted to move me forward. Now you want to imagine where I'm sitting in my office, this building. I'm talking about the same building. Now, my residence is in the first floor and I have, one more floor up. So the challenge which could have been broken me down, my bedroom is on that roof. So personally, what I believe, ma'am, the problem, the hardship which can challenge you, which may force you to think this way, that I am broken, I am complete, and I am end. Rise up, step upon the problems, and you are going to win it. If you have that courage to move forward. So I have, if I list down so many hardships, so many, but I still, standing with the faith that the God who created us, the God who, given us all these facilities and opportunities, has not given without any purpose. So God brought me to Bihar. I never thought of coming to Bihar. He brought me to Bihar. I never thought of becoming a teaching profession. Now he brought me into. Now I am traveling and I am taking workshops and teachings to, we are equipping hundreds of teachers and, we're interacting with so many, school owners, management, principals. So God has a purpose behind me, my life. If that is accomplished, then that's the end of Nikesh. Then why should I worry about it? As long as it is not yet accomplished, I have more, I have miles to go before I sleep. The greatest, quotes that William Wordsworth says in his poem that I have miles to go before I sleep. Even Nehru in his office noted that this quotation. That's what I believe, ma'am. I don't believe in accidents and I don't believe in luck. I believe in predestined. God has predestined our journey, our responsibilities. If you are faithful to the small responsibilities, He will make you the masters of great work. So that's what.
Absolutely, sir. Wonderful thought, sir. So if I say who is your go-to person, who would be that person?
I mean, you want me to name somebody who inspired me?
Because when you say that your journey has been, there are so many things that have happened. I'm sure there must be someone. Yes, God, Almighty is always there, but there must be someone. So I really would like to know the person.
Yeah, for the management skills, I look up to two persons like Samsi Daniel. He was our administrator when I was in the college. One Dr. Alexander Fitty. Both their management skills I admire the most. Now the question directly to for my personal life, if somebody inspired me, I would say like every time people inspire us. I don't have a single name. I'm really sorry to say that. Maybe it's my short. Like I don't know if I am wrong with that. Every time, even a small child influences us. What I believe we in our travel, in our journey, we learn from everyone. Even if it is, a small movie or a small video clip we watch, we are inspired with that. Sometimes, all this, it depends on your perspective and your personal convictions and your personal and ethical and moral conduct. So this is what. If you watch a good movie, if you talk to a good person, if they inspire you, means there are some spark, but more than that spark, with the content which is inside, buried inside you, that get fired.
Absolutely.
So, like I'm really sure I may not be able to call up some of the names. Everybody inspired me. I learned from every. In the beginning when I started my schools, I went to Nepal. There is a school, St. Mary. That's a there's convent school. Only ladies, Christian, Catholic nuns run the school. If you won't believe, 2 days I stayed with them. I have observed their management years back. I stayed in their office. I sat a couple of hours with the principal in their account session. I have taken few hours classes. Then there is another school, Don Bosco, nearby, Viratnagar, Nepal. There also I visited and a couple of classes I have taken to 9th and 10th. So, those time in the beginning stages, I used to, go to other schools, principals. I used to sit and interact. Open interaction, I used to talk. So learning from there, observation. So I have so many, I used to search, even today, I used to search every time. I used to search about what are the good management skills, what are the good things we can apply to the school, students development. Every month I have some or the other activities to the students and the teachers in the school. So every time I apply different things. We never copy and paste the same schedule for the next year. That's what in Mount Sinai Mission School we do is every year different activities, different cultural programs, different things. So everyone inspire us, man. Even now you are inspiring. This is a good platform where we have open interactions. This is an inspiration, while I am talking. So many things now I am saying to you, I never have thought of.
Right.
So this is actually now educating me. Certain points now interact. You are such a good, host, and you are, like when we are talking with the, good people, we talk good things, and we learn also. As well as I'm talking to you, I'm learning things. So inspiration is everywhere, man. Just you need to see it.
Absolutely, sir. Beautiful, wonderful thought to all my dear viewers. Everywhere inspiration is there. If I read a piece, somewhere written also, that also inspires me. The thing is that, are you open up for it? You need to open up.
Exactly.
Really love the point where you mentioned how we need to be emotionally strong. Life is not just to end it. There will be hardships. We have to face it. We have to build a generation of emotionally strong children. These days children are emotionally very weak. They just get shattered like that because they haven't seen any hardships. So for us, it is very important to share such incidents with them. Like just sir shared an incident about the school. So when these children hear these incidents, they get to learn, all right, so life is not always bed of roses. There are hardships and we all need to be ready to face it. So wonderful thoughts. Are a lot of business gowns also here in this answers, that it's you who have to decide whether you just want to move back and be persistent and believe in your vision, believe in the goal that you want to achieve. So that is a very, very powerful message here to all my dear viewers. Trust your instincts. Believe. If you believe, your project will succeed and your hard work will definitely add up to it. Wonderful answers are here. On this note, we reach to very interesting segment of the show, which is called rapid fire round.
I was afraid of it. I was so, I have never, like this is maybe the first time I am facing any rapid fire. So I am nervous with that.
Right. We are just going to reveal some fun facts about you and nothing else. So just, one word or one statement you have to use for your answers. Right. Here goes the first question. You spend your recreational time indulging in activities like?
No, reading, watching, like some inspiration videos.
All right. Great. Tell us about a funny or a weird incident in your life.
I would like to skip because like I all of a sudden I could not call off any.
All right.
I would like to skip that.
No worries, sir.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
No, I would like to skip that because if I remember, I would say you, but at present,
no worries. Is being technically knowledgeable necessary?
Yes, of course. No, we need to we need to be updated with the current development and all these things. Technically, it's now COVID helped a lot. That 1 century, 100 years could not teach to the human race. This 18 months taught.
True, very true. Reading is an overrated activity. True or false?
Pardon me, ma'am.
Reading is an overrated activity. True or false?
No, it's a false. Reading makes a person perfect. So it's a false.
Which is your favorite book?
Mine, Bible.
Bible, wonderful. And your favorite travel destination is?
I like traveling very less. Even you won't believe. Last 7 years, I have not traveled to Kerala. So whenever I get an opportunity to like maybe holidays and I stay at the school and I start some construction or something like. So then favorite so far I have traveled to so many states for a work related thing. For an answer sake, I can say Delhi.
Delhi. Great. So which is your favorite topic that you like to talk about?
The funny part is I don't have any favorite topic. I like to talk on any topic which is comfort with the other person. I mean, if the other person is comfort with by that you learn more things.
Right.
So when you are indulging with involving with the different topics, there are thousands, millions of subjects, topics we are not familiar with. So I like to involve into different topics.
All right. So last question of this segment, what is your elixir of the day? Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Tea. All right. So sir is a tea person. Great, sir. It was great to know you in this segment. This brings me to the last question of the show, which is called Viewer's Choice Question. So our viewers keep on sending us a lot of questions, and this one I have picked for you. So they say that the core responsibility of a school head is to foster 4 rights. That is right environment, right teachers, right pedagogies, and right attitude. These 4 rights lead a school to glory, teachers to gratification, and students to success. But to accomplish these educational social goals, how educators carry their responsibility ethically is important. So how should we guide our teachers? The teaching has to be done with passion, with and ignite to create education, to guide and mentor students, not just as a job. How do we do that?
No, you explained everything in such a way. I don't have a space to give in now because you already said it. When you have passion, then nothing is necessary there. Only thing, passion with sympathy. What is sympathy? sympathy on the perishing generation. Can you imagine, students in the schools using drugs? Can you imagine people, students, in the teenage, they smoke. The mobiles are used for playing games and they are completely engaged in the virtual world. So now the sympathy is feeling pain in your heart. When you see a child rather, completing the syllabus in the textbook, you should feel pain. 40 students sitting in the class, 40 of them are differently affected with 40 emotional capacities. Their IQs and EQs are different. So if you don't have that sympathy to draw near to a child, unless and until a teacher draw near to a child, the student cannot open up. See, for a student, their parents are very busy. Father is in the business working, mother is busy with the domestic. Only teachers are the one a child can depend, because the teachers are the one who in a speculated time comes and make themselves available. Father may come at 9 o'clock, father may come at 10 o'clock, father may go for a week holidays, maybe some business tour. Teachers are the people who given you the timetable. I am available for you at 9 o'clock. So teachers, hold this capacity to enlarge the talents of the students, to console and comfort, to going near to a person, to a child, to their personal problems. So that's what I said, compassion and sympathy. If you have compassion towards a child, the other day before, I had an interview with a creative society. So they asked me a question: what can bring unity in the diversity of the entire world? So my reply was love. They laughed at, because they never expected that I would say love. Then I explained this way, that if you don't have love towards an object, a person, you cannot bring your best to them. Only love can collect all of us together. Humanity, ethics, moral, where without love everything is vain. If you have love, you forgive. In that way, in Bible, there's a Corinthians, book of Corinthians, chapter 13. The entire chapter talks about love. So that is the one thing bind. If a teacher doesn't love his or her child, student, they cannot become a passionate teachers. They will ignore. See, even today in my school, if you ask my students, during the tiffin period, I roam around, I just walk around to all the classes, make sure everybody is having tiffin. If anybody is without tiffin, I make sure that they have something or the other thing. A teacher must have passion, compassion towards their students. Then only they can. All other things are theoretical, man. Everything is theoretical. The management things and this all, extracurricular, new education policy, these are theoretical. Unless and until you have compassion towards your child, you cannot become an effective teacher. If you ask me who is an effective teacher, I would say the person with the compassion, the person with the love towards his or her child, student. Then you can teach life lessons, you can teach syllabus, you can talk about their personal problems, and you can be a good guru, the one who eradicates darkness from the life. You can be a guru.
Absolutely, sir. Wonderfully explained this answer too, sir. Although, after hearing you, every time I felt, my God, there is so much to learn from you. So, I'm trying to just get as much information as I can in this short duration. So, sir, I think that is today, everything is there on Google. Children don't need, information, don't need facts. Everything is available. They need compassionate teachers with whom they can connect. They can share their world with them. And that is when even the teacher can create a difference in child lives and, shape his life. Wonderfully explained, sir. I really thoroughly had a very insightful discussion with you today. And I hope, many educators follow and resonates with your vision. And that is when we can see the change in the education system also. Great, sir. It was absolutely delight talking to you. Thank you so much, sir.
Same here, ma'am. When you have, like good hospitality, the better dish served, then its value people notice, So I am really thankful for such a wonderful platforms where you brought out valid points. It's not an interview for the interview's sake. this one I would tell you that you have brought such wonderful questions, which is very closely related to personal life and professional life. We have not seen any theoretical things. I am not reading any, notes. So if that's the thing. And one more point I wanted to bring, when we are teaching to the students, as you said, information are not needed now. Information you can get from the fingers, you can just Google and Wikipedia, you can open it up and you can get it. But when you are teaching French Revolution, when you are teaching Industrial Revolution, any theories, from everything, students have something or the other to learn, and that may apply to their life. That is the major elements that, suppose we are teaching about majoritarianism. The concept you can bring to their personal life, where how we must think and how we must apply those life lessons to our life, rather than keeping in your memory the informations, age and days and events. So better, this is very needed, that the life lessons in your life.
Absolutely, sir. Education is not only about just mugging up the concepts, it's also about education. And I think that is what is the meaning of education. Why do we educate our children? So that they can apply their learning, right?
Yeah, exactly, ma'am, exactly.
Great, sir. So thank you so much, sir. We really feel blessed and privileged to have you here on this platform today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I should be grateful to this.